Hello and welcome to SimpleSoftware 001, the Beginner's Guide to Batch Scanning and Indexing. This class has been tailored to people who are brand new to batch scanning and is designed to just teach you some of the terminology and explain some of the background and what the steps are in a batch scanning process so that you're familiar with these steps going forward because they'll be referred to in the other classes without further explanation. So first, what is batch scanning? If you're extremely new to batch scanning, this is an important question. Batch scanning differs from normal flatbed scanning because with batch scanning, you're scanning multiple documents on a sheet-fed scanner at one time. And so, since you're scanning multiple documents, the key part to batch scanning is organizing those scanned images so that you can find them later. So what is indexing? Well, indexing is how you apply the organization to those scanned image files. And it's important because obviously you have to be able to find your documents after you scan them. If you have no organization to the scanned images, you just have numbered files or something like that, then how are you going to possibly find what document is what from your scanned images? So indexing is the most laborious part of batch scanning because unless you have some way of automating the indexing process, you have to manually type basically all the information that's contained on all of the file folders and all of the files that you're scanning. So if you're doing a backfile conversion of your filing cabinets, you have to label what cabinet it came from, what drawer, all of the labels that are written on each individual file you'll want to index so that you can search by all that information that you're used to looking for when you find those files. Indexing is also required for your electronic documents. If you have Office documents, PDF files, or any kind of file saved on your hard drive, if you want to be able to find those files, you have to apply some kind of search criteria to make them show up in your search results when you do a search. So since indexing is so labor intensive, SimpleIndex is designed to automate that process as much as possible. And there's several different ways to automate the indexing process. The first is barcode recognition. Barcode recognition is the preferred method for automating indexing. It is very fast to process barcodes. The barcode recognition is very accurate. In general, you get the best results and the largest savings in labor with barcode recognition. Optical character recognition, or OCR, is the process by which software is able to take an image, which is basically a picture of your document, and convert it into machine-readable text, like a Word document or a text file. Basically, the main difference there is that the text can be parsed by software and it can be used in index fields, whereas the image data is just like a picture. There's no way to search for the text in a picture of a document. You have to convert it to some kind of machine-readable format, and optical character recognition is how that's done. And you can automate indexing with optical character recognition by zeroing in on a zone within the image that contains the data that you want to use and reading that data and having it inserted into one of your index fields automatically. Other ways that optical recognition can be used in SimpleIndex, we use what we call template matching and dictionary matching with our OCR, which it allows a large block of text to be searched for a certain pattern, and when that pattern is found, the index field is populated automatically, and that provides a much bigger benefit to the OCR automation in SimpleIndex. Database autofill is the process where you look up a key field that is either manually indexed or OCR'd or recognized from a barcode, but that key field is used to find other information that's related to it. For example, a social security number could be used in a lookup database to find a name, address, and phone number, and all of those index fields can then be populated automatically from the database record because you have all that data already stored in a database somewhere. What you use is the autofill to look up that record and use the existing data to populate your search fields in SimpleIndex. And the final way SimpleIndex automates the indexing process is through its streamlined user interface. SimpleIndex has keyboard shortcuts for all the different commands so that you can keep your hands on the keyboard and you don't have to reach for the mouse every time that you want to perform a different function. The processing workflow is very streamlined. All of the steps involved in scanning and indexing documents are performed sequentially, and the user doesn't have to kick off a separate menu command to perform each step in the process. And that all goes into our motto, which is how many clicks does it take to scan my documents? We always look at every scanning and indexing process in terms of how many clicks does it take, and we try to minimize that number, and by doing so we create the most efficient scanning process possible and provide the lowest overall cost of ownership for the system. The steps involved in a batch scanning process are: first, you just got to scan the documents, obviously. Next, you run automated processes like barcode recognition, OCR, and other automated processes like deskew and despeckle, which we'll cover on the next slide. These automated processes have to run because step 3 is verification, manual verification of those automated processes. So if you're reading index values with OCR and you need to verify that the correct OCR results were obtained, you need to do that afterwards. So step 3 is the manual verification step, and you also in step 3 review the images to make sure that they are all legible. And at the end of manual verification, you finally export the images and save them in the organized file format that you want. So when you're scanning documents, there's a few terms that we'd like to go over first because they'll be used in the other classes. First, your scanner drivers. There's two types of scanner drivers. There's Twain and ISIS drivers. And Twain is a more general standard. It's also used for digital cameras and other types of devices as well. And it is the driver that's built into the basic version of SimpleIndex. ISIS drivers are a specialized driver that are designed specifically for high-speed document scanners, and particularly on high-end scanners over 50 pages per minute. The ISIS drivers often perform much better than the Twain drivers. When you're scanning documents with SimpleIndex, typically documents are scanned in black and white. Black and white images are much smaller, they take a much less hard drive space, and they're perfectly easy to read because typically most business documents only contain text. And so as long as you're not scanning a lot of pictures, black and white is perfectly suitable for viewing those types of documents. When scanning black and white images, typically 200 dpi is the standard for basic archival type scanning applications, and 300 dpi is the recommended setting if you're using OCR to automate indexing or doing full page OCR on your documents. DPI stands for dots per inch and is the resolution of the scanned files. The reason 300 dpi or a higher resolution is recommended for OCR is because it increases the accuracy because there's more detail for the OCR to read. There's 3 different types of image files that SimpleIndex can output. There's TIFF, PDF, and JPEG. TIFF and PDF are both suitable for black and white images. JPEG is completely not suitable for black and white images. Do not use JPEG with black and white documents because JPEG, first, it encodes the color information whether it's present or not. So you're actually creating a larger file with JPEG than you do with TIFF or PDF. Also, the JPEG compression distorts your images and makes the text much harder to read. whereas the TIFF and PDF black and white formats are not lossy. So definitely use TIFF or PDF if you're scanning black and white documents. Also, multi-page documents, TIFF and PDF support multi-page files. JPEG does not. For color files, any of the three formats will work. JPEG will typically provide better compression than TIFF, but PDF supports the JPEG compression method inside the PDF, so they'll typically be the same size. So any of those formats will really work for color. For black and white, you want to use Group 4 compression is what it's known as. This is the default compression for black and white TIFF images. But if you notice that your files are larger than, for 200 dpi black and white images, they shouldn't be any larger than 50 kilobytes. For 300 dpi, they shouldn't be any larger than a couple of hundred kilobytes per image. So if your files are much larger than that, like for example if they're a couple of megs per page, then you need to compress your images using Group 4 compression. There's also three different types of PDF files. There's native PDF files, image PDF files, and image plus hidden text PDF files. And just to go over the differences between the two, a native PDF file is a PDF that's been generated using either the Acrobat Distiller or by printing to a PDF file from an application like Microsoft Word. Native PDF files are text-based. They don't have a picture of the document. It's the actual document text laid out in a PDF file. An image PDF is what's created by SimpleIndex when you scan, or typically by digital copiers that use the scan function and output PDFs. What you have is a PDF that has an image inside it. Typically it's a TIFF image, and the embedded image can be processed using OCR and barcode recognition with SimpleIndex, but only with an image-based PDF. Image plus hidden text PDFs have an image layer plus a hidden text layer. Typically the hidden text is OCR text, which is not 100% accurate, so you don't want to view the OCR text because you'll see the mistakes and things like that. But you hide the OCR text behind the image so that you can search through the text and view the original document. So a image plus hidden text PDF has both the original scanned image and OCR text hidden behind it. Lastly, we'd just like to go through a few other imaging terms that will be used throughout the SimpleSoftware University. Deskew and despeckle are both image processing functions that clean up images from different problems that are commonly associated with scanning. Skew is when the page goes through the scanner just a little bit off center and there's a little bit of crookedness in the image. Deskewing will compensate for that. And despeckling will compensate for brightness or contrast settings that are a little bit off and cause noise or snow or speckles to show up in the background of the image. Annotation is the ability to draw on your image, for example, put sticky notes or arrows or highlighting. It's a virtual way of interacting with document images so that you can do all the different things that you do to highlight different areas or make notes on your actual documents. You can do virtually with annotations. Redaction is a form of annotation where the main purpose is to block out information for privacy concerns, and SimpleIndex provides an automated way to do that as well. Imprinting or bait stamping are terms. Bait stamping is something that's typically done in legal environments where a stamp is actually physically impressed upon the bottom of every page in a batch of documents to number them sequentially. Imprinting is the process by which scanners often do that while they're scanning. You can actually purchase, for some scanners, an inkjet printer that will imprint a sequential number on the bottom of the page as it's being scanned. SimpleIndex will actually electronically imprint images using annotation. Cover sheets are index pages that contain all of your index information and are placed on the front of a multi-page document and used to index the file automatically, or just provide all the index information for manual operators. And it's not necessarily a part of the document, it's just a page on the front that has all your index information. And a document management system, if you're not familiar, typically in large corporate environments you have a document management system which is run on a server and has a document database that is used for finding and viewing documents. With SimpleIndex, SimpleIndex can either function as a standalone document management system or a very basic document management system for small businesses or departments using Simple Search. But typically, SimpleIndex would be integrated as a front end in corporate environments to a document management system to provide the document scanning capabilities. But an enterprise document management system is going to have features like HIPAA compliance and security and a lot of different features that SimpleIndex just is not designed to provide. So document management systems are the typical back end for SimpleIndex's front end. And lastly, we'll just go and quickly review the products in the SimpleSoftware product line that will be covered by SimpleSoftware University. SimpleIndex is the scanning and indexing application. Simple Cover Sheet is an application designed for printing cover sheets. We discussed on the last slide what a cover sheet is. Simple Send is an integrated FTP or email client that SimpleIndex is able to use to automatically upload documents or email the documents as needed. SimpleQC is a thumbnail viewer so that you can quickly review all the images that you've scanned with and organized with SimpleIndex in a thumbnail view. And SimpleQC is a little unique because it is designed for viewing thumbnails within several multi-page files. And typical thumbnail viewers designed for pictures are not designed to handle multi-page files. Simple Search is a view-only version of SimpleIndex that allows you to search and view files that you've scanned. And SimpleQB is our module for interfacing directly with QuickBooks. So all of these products together form the SimpleIndex imaging suite, and together they provide a robust solution for document capture. This concludes SimpleSoftware 001, Beginner's Guide to Batch Scanning. Hopefully the terminology you learned in this class will help you understand a little better the terms that we use in the rest of the courses, which will go into detail in how to configure SimpleIndex jobs and how to use the SimpleSoftware applications.